Welcome to the show. So glad to have you here today. I'm Ivory LaNoue. Today's topic is Archangel Hamiel. Before I get started, I want to say a hello to my listeners in Lima, Peru. So glad to see you. I've been watching the listenership grow there, and it's just great. Thanks so much for being here. Let's jump right into this today. Archangel Haniel. Her name means grace of God or joy of God, and it is pronounced Haniel. The origin of her name is the Hebrew word Hanai, meaning joy or pleasure, also known as Hamiel, Aniel, Anaphiel, Anaphoniel, Simiel, and the angel of joy. She's also called the angel of divine communication. Let's talk a little bit about how this archangel shows up in human history, particularly within religious texts. In the Jewish mystical doctrine, the Kabbalah, Haniel is mentioned as the archangel overseeing the branch on the tree of life, which is associated with Netzach, meaning victory or eternity. Each of the 10 Sephirot angels oversee unique qualities of creative life force energy. Haniel's task is to oversee the creative force of eternity, and she helps humans to reconnect with and understand the eternal nature of God. In ancient Babylon, a group of men known as priest astronomers worked with Haniel, who was associated with the planet Venus. In the non-canonical third book of Enoch, Archangel Haniel, written as Anaphiel, is said to be the angel who helped Enoch ascend into the realms of heaven on a fiery chariot. You've probably seen a lot of depictions of that moment. It's very famous. It's actually, if you watch Gaia TV, you're going to see it on the shows where they're talking about the possibility of ancient races being visited by aliens, because that chariot looks like a spaceship. So the areas of human life that are overseen by Archangel Haniel, let's talk about that. The primary role for her is to act as the intermediary between humans and the celestial realms. She is known to have beauty, grace, and incredible power. Archangel Haniel helps to uncover or recover the lost secrets of natural healing remedies, such as powders, crystals, and potions. So if you work with crystals or you're just drawn to them, you collect them, this would be a good archangel for you to work with. Some trivia. I hate to say the word trivia in connection with an archangel. Let's just say interesting tidbits of information. This archangel has a distinctly feminine energy. Her energy color is a bluish white, and she's often depicted smiling or laughing, and sometimes she's holding a rose. Haniel also is sometimes shown carrying a lit lantern. Haniel works closely with Archangel Uriel, my favorite, and Archangel Metatron, as well as Master Hilarion, who is a saint within the I Am movement and is an ascended master of the Great Brotherhood of Light. So she is a busy archangel. Her ruling planet is Venus. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. She is not connected to a zodiac sign, but Haniel is linked with the 5th chakra, which is the throat, and the 6th chakra, which is the third eye. I always like to have the angels, the archangels, provide a special message for you who are listening or watching on the show. And here's Archangel Haniel's message for you. She says, for every instance of intolerance, there are thousands more kindnesses occurring. These are overshadowing the dark. When seen from my point of view, your light is shining brighter than ever. Know that I have profound love for all of you. I'm here to assist you in rising above the clash of ego and rising you to the level of God's grace where you came from. When you want to call upon Archangel Haniel and you're not sure the circumstances are right for her, I'm just going to give you some overall categories that are always really great ones for her. When you're working on opening your intuition or improving your intuition, she's very helpful with that. When you want to awaken and trust your inner guidance, it's one thing to get intuition, another thing to trust it. And that's where a lot of people can get stuck. So she can be super helpful for that. Fulfilling your higher purpose. So in the last episode, we talked about, coming to that moment where you want to do something more meaningful, whatever that means to you. And you probably know you have a mission or you're here for a life purpose, but you don't know what it is yet. That is a maddening place to be. I've been there, I know. And so if you want to find it faster, you want her help with that, she's a great one to ask. If you're going to job interviews, you're making presentations, you have important meetings, Archangel Hamiel. And if you are absorbing too many emotions of others, all you empaths, you fellow empaths out there, I get it. When it's just too much other people's emotions, she's a great one. I would actually recommend that all empaths make talking with Archangel Haniel, doing invocations for her specifically for this, to help reduce the amount of emotions you pick up. Personally, I don't want to pick up anyone's emotions unless I'm in a reading. I have enough with my own emotions. Thank you very much. So I like to shut that down between. This is just a general kind of overall invocation for Haniel. Before you do it, though, some things that can make it more effective and more powerful would be to create an angel altar where you have peaceful, holy, or sacred images. I actually have several things there, but you could have a picture of Mother Mary, you could have a picture of Archangel Haniel, moonstone, pieces of moonstone or moonstone beads. And then I talk about this for all the Archangel episodes, is diffusing essential oils. I am a big one for diffusing. And it's amazing the effect that diffused oils have on people. And so just knowing there's certain essential oils that are going to be connected with her and working with her, I would say of the list I'm about to give you, pick 1, 2, or maybe 3 that blend together well. Do not use all of them. It will be a hot mess and not smell good. And start the diffuser about 10 minutes before you start your invocation so that the air is got a nice, decent, not overpowering, but a noticeable scent in the air. So the essential oils connected with working with Archangel Haniel are cinnamon, lemon, myrrh, orange, peppermint, rose, rosemary, or sandalwood. I am very sensitive to people's financial needs. It's best to get high-grade, pure essential oils, no synthetic scents. Synthetic scents can really kick off allergies, and they're really not as powerful for this work as pure oil. I do not sell oils, so I'm not making a profit off this, but I do recommend it. If you can do this in the invocation outside under a moon, again, the moonstone and the moon, there is a connection, or when the moon is out, then say this invocation below. Archangel Haniel, please guide me to be a light in all situations in life. Help me to express myself with words which inspire and uplift. I thank you for helping me to remember the divine realm I came from and live in a graceful manner which reflects my origin. I ask that you help me fully love and accept myself and ensure that those in my life feel my love and appreciation. So that again is just like an overall when you could do, if you want to just get closer with her, feel her energy, calling her in. Then there are some very specific invocations, which I've written, that are for things, the areas that she covers. And I want to say this right up front. As I always tell you, you do not need to say them word for word the way I say them. This is a starting point. Then you put it in your words you're comfortable with, words that feel right for you to say, words that that reflect your personal situation. You do not have to say exactly what I do. So the first one is an invocation for releasing what does not serve you. Boy, that's one we all need. It can be really hard, especially if what doesn't serve you is a family member. Hey, that's one of the toughest situations to face, but we all come across that at some point. Archangel Haniel, I humbly invite you to help me with releasing things which no longer serve me. Please help me to let go of the thoughts, beliefs, people, jobs, belongings, hobbies, and other things that are not in alignment with who I am now. If it is an energetic imbalance between myself and others, help me to recognize it for what it is and release those people with a blessing. For those things I am finding difficult to liberate myself from, I ask that you make it clear to me why this must be done. Show me how I am being affected negatively or held back in my spiritual growth, understanding that only when I remove the things that no longer benefit me will I create room in my life for that which serves me well. Help me to see those things I let go of as lessons and experience as I move forward with my growth. Archangel Haniel, thank you for your presence and the guidance you provide me in releasing things I no longer need. And I want to talk about this for a moment because, quite frankly, this is a situation that's going to happen as you move forward on your spiritual journey. Last week's topic, spiritual journey, is that you change, your frequency rises, you become like you're seeing things more crystal clear, you're seeing things with a more loving eye, but with more discernment. And you start to realize that you don't feel good when you're around certain people, or doing a certain hobby, you just doesn't fulfill you anymore. And yet you've always done it. You've done it for a long time. You've known this person forever. That's the things that are tough to let go of, but there's few people in our life that are meant to be in it forever. You know, there are some friends that evolve with you. If they evolve with you, or a spouse evolves with you, your friends evolve with you, then you're going to be good, because as long as they're growing, you don't have to grow at the same rate, but if they're growing personally and spiritually, you're going to be fine. But the problem is, for those of you watching it, you can see I'm trying to describe this. For those of you listening, who is most of you, is that you start on the same level. So both, let's say you have a friend, you meet when you're young and you're both here and you're not on your spiritual journey yet. Then you start off on your spiritual journey and your frequency starts to rise, and they're still where they used to be. Your frequency rises, and the farther your frequency rises, the distance between you energetically grows. And so what's going to happen is you're not going to enjoy each other's company like you used to. You might even feel it just doesn't feel good, or it leaves you drained, or you feel frustrated, that you can't talk about the same things because they're where you used to be and you're here now. It's not about being better than somebody. That's not what this is about. It is about where you are on your life journey and then being on a spiritual journey, and it changes you in beautiful ways. And sometimes those people who did not grow personally or spiritually eventually do step on the path. I've had people come back into my life later, and now they're working on themselves spiritually, and it works again. It works actually maybe better than it ever did. So it's not about discarding people. It's about protecting yourself. You cannot grow spiritually if you keep people and things around you, situations around you, that don't fit who you've become. So the second invocation is for summoning feminine energy. Archangel Haniel, please assist me in summoning feminine energy. I desire to accept and embrace my full potential as a female. Please help me achieve harmony between my feminine and masculine energies. Assist me to see the powerful and magical energy I carry within myself. Let it be activated so I may live a creative, joyful, authentic life starting today. Encourage me to express gratitude for having been born female, to explore the powers of my feminine energy, and discover ways in which I can positively impact the world by being a woman. I ask that you help me to be open to ask for and receiving assistance. Whisper words which encourage me to be kinder to myself, make time for self-pampering, and to love myself as the woman I am. Archangel Haniel, thank you for your presence and for helping me to connect fully with my feminine energy. It's a tough world. You know, I love men. I'm not a man hater, but it is a tough world to be a woman. And it's gotten a little tougher recently. So if you're feeling disempowered, if you're feeling put upon, if you're just kind of feeling disconnected from the core of feminine power, feminine energy, this is a good one. And it's not about being a feminist. It's about just loving yourself as a woman. The next one is an invocation for developing spiritual gifts. Archangel Haniel, be with me now as I approach an important moment. I desire to discover my spiritual gifts and begin to develop them. Help me to be brave and inquisitive on my journey of self-discovery. Please guide me to each step of my exploration in a way that builds trust and confidence within me. I ask you to remove fear from my mind so I may move forward unencumbered. Replace that with a sense of inquisitiveness, joy, patience, and self-love. Help me understand that mastery will not be acquired soon, and this is the beginning of a long journey. Let my strongest gift be found quickly, followed by other gifts I possess and will want to develop later. Help me to begin this expedition with a strong sense that you and my personal angels will be guiding me all the way. Assist me in avoiding ego and finding how I may best serve others. Archangel Haniel, thank you for your presence and your encouragement in developing my spiritual gifts. That's another thing people, when they come to me, I hear a lot of is, please tell me what my spiritual gifts are. And I like to say, what do you think they are? Because it's usually in a spiritual counseling session. And they always have something, well, I wonder if I'm an empath, or I don't know, I might have some mediumship ability, or I might have some intuition. Well, everyone has intuition, so it's a good idea to develop that for all kinds of reasons. The way I started in this business is once I was doing readings was immediately a corporate intuitive. It was so interesting that these CEOs started calling me and then later coming to see me, and I've worked with business for a long time. So it's not just for your personal life, but there's a couple things in this invocation I want to talk about. One is it is important to figure out what your gifts are. And so I always find the angels and archangels to be the fastest way to get there. I mean, your personal angels will help you. Just if you say angels, make the next step, the next clue to finding my path, my gifts, very clear to me. It'll be like you'll just come across something. It could be a class that you just feel like you have to go to. Don't question it, just go. That's how I ended up in the medical Qigong energy healing. I didn't even know what energy healing was, but this was back before the internet, and there was a notice in the newspaper that said they were having this class at the local college, and it's all summer long. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a daughter, you know, I can't do this, but it all worked out. Grandparents helped. And that really was the big start of my spiritual journey. So don't question it. Your angels are telling you to go do something. They're giving you that big internal push. Go do it. And if you suspect you have a gift, I suggest you take a class or at least read a book, work with somebody one-on-one, have one meeting with them and see if you connect about that gift. And let's see what happens. If you think you have it, odds are you're just not ready to step into your power and say, yes, I am. Like me not saying that for years I just said, oh, no, I'm not a medium. I'm a sensitive. So we come up with all kinds of terms when we're not ready to step into a role. When you are, you start getting curious. So go with it. And odds are, I wanted to talk too about, like, you have a primary gift, but odds are you have others too. So everybody has the ability for intuition. Not everybody will be able to develop it to a point where you can read for other people. But the important thing is to be able to have intuition for yourself, so that you don't get taken advantage of, so that you have a better idea when someone's lying to you or not, when someone's trustworthy, when a move, a different job, a different city, a different home is a good idea or not. Wouldn't it be lovely? And you can do that to get that for yourself. So the fourth invocation is for further developing spiritual gifts. So it's just, the first one's about discovering them. This one's about further developing them. Archangel Haniel, I ask that you come to me as I feel an inner push to further develop my spiritual gifts. I am ready to devote more time and energy to seeing how far I can expand my spiritual gifts. Please help me to remain focused on this goal, as I know it will take a lot of time and years to accomplish. I ask that you assist me in developing my intuition to the highest level possible, to grow my other gifts as much as I am capable of currently. If I have gifts not yet discovered, help me realize them and how they will enrich my existing knowledge. Guide me to the right teachers at the right time so I may enhance my knowledge and skill. Help me to stay out of ego and centered on service to others. Show me how I am meant to use my developed spiritual gifts to heal, help others, and improve the world. Archangel Haniel, thank you for your presence and for guiding me to developing my spiritual gifts to the highest level possible. So this is an important one because it's usually the people who want to do something pretty powerful. They want to become a professional. They want to write a book. They want to do something to help others with their gift. And that does require a higher level of training, expertise, knowledge. And so the sooner you get started with that, the better. If you waited a long time in life to get started with it, just jump on it, immerse yourself in it. I want to talk a couple of these. You will have noticed that there's a mention about not wandering into the realm of ego. I cannot emphasize how important it is that you stay focused on doing God's work, on improving yourself, being the best person you can be, helping others. It is about how can I help others? When we step into this realm of how much money can I make? What kind of things will I be able to get when I have that money? Oh, I want to be famous. I want to be rich. These things, if you want to be, a revered guru, that's stepping into ego. And anytime you step into ego, you've stepped away from the light, and out of the light, you're in a danger zone where you might be receiving information from the dark and not even know it. You can be influenced by the dark. You're opening a chink in your armor, your spiritual armor, that you don't want to open. Also, you're not able to help people, really. I mean, you don't know the information you're passing on is from the light anymore. So my thing is, I have a few friends, close friends, who are very spiritual, and we have a pact amongst each other. If we ever see or feel one of us is stepping into ego, to let them know right away, so we don't wander down that path, because that's not what it is for us. We're in it for the reason of serving. And that's why part of my spiritual protection is thanking God for another opportunity to serve in this body. It is so rewarding to know that I'm helping people however they need it, however I can help them. I can't do everything for everybody. I don't know everything. I know a good deal, but I don't know everything. And there's times when I'll see a client or a student, and then I'll say, I really feel like you've learned all you can on this topic from me, and I'm going to suggest you go do a specialized training with this person who can take them to the next level. For instance, I do have a lot of people come to me for medical intuitive sessions, though I don't call myself a medical intuitive, but part of my gift is feeling in my body what's going on with the health of another person. So if it comes to a point where I feel like they need a true medical intuitive reading, I have somebody I'm going to refer them to. If a student of mine comes to me and they're like, they want to take my 1 hour class, that's going to be like an introduction to medical intuitive. And I'm going to teach them a few things they can start practicing to get going. But if they come back and say, Ivory, I really want to pursue this. I think I want to become a medical intuitive. There's a woman not in Arizona that I refer them to that it's so funny. I refer them to her because I just got a fantastic feeling when I saw her website and the angels started coming in. They always do when they really like something. So we have to be honest about our limitations. Nobody can be everything to every person or even everything to anyone. It doesn't work that way. So I wanted to say too, like I mentioned, like help guide me to the mentor, the teacher, best for me. I did that when I had that light bulb moment where I realized, oh my gosh, I'm a medium. How can I see spirit and angels my whole life and hear them and not know that makes me a medium because I wasn't meant to? My angels laughed. They're like, you weren't meant to before. Like, oh, okay. So anyway, at that point, I thought, well, I want to develop this. I want to see if I have what it takes to do this professionally. And I didn't know anybody. I went online and I started looking through. I was living in Cave Creek and I was looking at different people in the Phoenix area. And when it came up to the one I went with, like I felt like there was a halo of light around her. And the angels came in and they're just like, yes, yes. And it worked out great. It was perfect because I was in a very vulnerable state then. I was going through a really toxic relationship. I'd been beaten down really low by him and I wasn't loving life and I wasn't feeling much hope for the future. And so I was in this terrible state. But she was the one because she took me in. She's like her angels told her, if you don't take Ivory as a student, she's going to die. And I felt like I was like spiritually, I was just fading out. So sometimes, you're pulled to a person for a reason. Don't listen to what other people are saying about, oh, you should go with them. They were great for me. It's about who's going to be great for you. Who and what do your angels think? And what does your intuition tell you? And if you're new to intuition, sometimes it's just that gut level, that gut instinct that tells you, yeah, I'm gonna get a session with this person. I'm gonna try it with this person. So I hope that all of this gives you a wonderful overview of beautiful Archangel Haniel. And if you want to know more, you can look it up. For these episodes, I actually did hundreds of hours of research a few years ago and just hung on to it because I knew I was going to be using it on my podcast. And some of this information is hard to find. What was the hardest to find is the correct pronunciation of some of the archangels' names. I mean, like that sometimes took 100 hours of research in itself to find that information. So it's kind of nice to get it succinctly in a half-hour show. I hope that you found something within this that resonates for you, that you'll want to work with Archangel Haniel. And just a reminder, all of you empaths out there, it would be a great idea for you to work with Archangel Haniel because she'll help you not absorb so much of other people's emotions. You can get a tidal wave, especially lately. Tune in next Sunday. The topic is using the violet flame, and it's going to be about this book. If you already have it, great. If you want to get it, fantastic. You might want to get it after the podcast because what we're really going to be focusing on is the invocations in the back. And the invocations, it's just a little tiny book. The invocations are about setting an intention. And for me, there's one I use with all my spiritual protection to call in circles of angels around me and my client. But whatever intention you have, so you can use it for intention work, and also you can use it to rebalance yourself. And I'll be talking about that. And it can just be amazing using these. So in the meantime, may your angels surround you, May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I will see you next week.